Hello, Summer of Learning students. I'm Mr. Robert, and I'm here for some summer math. Today we're going to do a lesson, and we're going to answer the question, what is multiplication? Let's get started. Today we're going to be thinking about the question, what is multiplication? So let's start off with this problem here. This problem is 3 times 4. I want you to do two things. I want you to think about, what does 3 times 4 mean? What does that mean? And then the other thing I want you to do is see if you can illustrate, draw a picture of what 3 times 4 looks like. Go ahead and do that. If you'd like, you can pause the video, do some work on your own, and then come back to the video when you are done working. So, I asked you to think about this question. What does 3 times 4 mean? Well, one way to think about it, and this is just one way to think about it is this times symbol. This times symbol, you can think of it as meaning groups of. So that times symbol means groups of. So I can read this as 3 times 4, and I can also read it this way, 3 groups of 4. So 3 times 4 means 3 groups of 4. So now let me show you one way you could have illustrated that. There are lots of ways you could illustrate 3 times 4 or 3 groups of 4. Let me just show you one way. So I'm going to draw my 3 groups. Here's one group, 2 groups, 3 groups. And now I'm going to put 4 things in each group. So I'm going to put 4 chips in each group. So there's 4 chips in that group. And 1, 2, 3, 4 counters in that group. And 1, 2, 3, 4 counters in that group. So this is 3 groups, and each group has 4. 3 groups of 4, or 3 times 4. That's one way to illustrate this. Another way that you could have illustrated 3 times 4, or 3 groups of 4, is to draw an array with 3 rows and 4 columns. So columns go up and down, rows go across. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 groups, and in each group I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter how you draw it, you should get the same answer every time. So I've got 4 in this row. And then I've got 4 in this row. 4 plus 4 is 8 now. And I've got 4 in this row. 8 plus 4 is 12. So I get an answer of 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Or if I draw it with my 3 groups of 4, counting by 4s, I should have 4, 8, 12. Doesn't matter which way you do it, you should get an answer of 12 for your problem 3 times 4, or 3 groups of 4. Now it's your turn. In your packet, you'll find this sheet, which has problems, multiplication problems, that start with 1 times 1, or 1 group of 1, all the way to 5 times 5, or 5 groups of 5. Your job is to put the answer for each multiplication problem in the box. If you know the answer right away, great, just write it in the box. If you don't know the answer right away, you can draw a picture. For example, this problem here, 3 times 2, or 3 groups of 2, if I don't know the answer right away, I can draw 3 groups of 2. So here's 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2. And now I can count my dots. 2, 4, 6. The answer is 6. Let's look at this problem here. 4 times 4, or 4 groups of 4. If you don't know the answer, you can draw some dots, 4 groups of 4. Here's one group of 4. Here's the second group of 4. So now I've got 2 groups of 4. Here's my third group of 4. And here's my fourth group of 4. And counting by 4s, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16. 4 times 4, or 4 groups of 4, is 16. Now, if you're still struggling with this, the next page in your packet does have this dot array multiplication table, which you can use. You can count the dots on here to help figure out the answer. But before you use this sheet, try it yourself. See if you can make the dot arrays yourself and figure out the answer. Have fun. If you'd like, you can pause the video, do some work on your own, and then come back to the video when you are done working. So how'd you do? On the bottom of this sheet is the question, what is something you notice about this table? Did you see any patterns in the numbers as you were writing down your answers? If you had any noticings, any discoveries or observations, make sure you write that down there at the bottom. And if you want more of a challenge, there's one more sheet that goes all the way up to 10 times 10, or 10 groups of 10. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.